Good morning. Hello. Hello. Big mug day. Big mug. Giant. Really big. That's what we need today. That's what we got going. Really big. Huge. Good morning, everybody. Hello, hello. Hi, Donna. Good morning to you. Hope you're having a good day. Do you have good things on tap today? Linda, good morning to you. Great to see you. Bob Guinan, everybody. Hello, Bob. We missed you last night. I hope all the great work you're doing with the veterans and the Vietnam folks are going well. So, John, good morning to you. Listening and driving, very nice. Drive fast, take chances, my friend. All right, Kristen, good morning. Hope you're well. Deb Votrin. Hi, Deb Votrin. Great to see you here. Good to see everybody. Hello, hello. Great to see you. Yard work with the weather still good. Ah, yes, tis the season. Very nice. There's something very good about that. Something very right though. That whole kind of you know what did the Benedictines call it? The ora et labora. You know, prayer and labor, prayer and work. Something something right about that. So hope you're enjoying it. Cecile, good morning. Glad you're here. You're well. Vicky Neville, everybody. Hey, Vic. Hello, hello. Glad you're here. All right, I'm going to try. If somebody's out there today and you have not ever said hello on the chat, say hello. Or like if you're like watching this, like you've never managed, you know, say hi this morning. We want to hear from you. Don't overnight the leaves all fell off. Yes, that's how they would. Maples are that way too. They're just like, okay, I'm done. Poof. Um, which is refreshing in some ways, but yeah, then you get a deal. So yeah, I'm actually a clean up in the spring guy. Like I changed that over some years back, and I actually found it was a lot better. Like I let it all fall for the fall, and then first thing in the spring, as soon as the snow's gone, get out there um, and then rake and clean up and stuff. I find I don't know, who knows, I don't know why I swept over, but I find it, yeah, you have to contend with the leaves and stuff for the fall, but usually you're dealing with other things before then, that white stuff, not cocaine. So yes, I said that. It's a joke. Come on, lighten up. It's Thursday. All right, friends. Glad you're here. Glad you're part of the journey today. It is the 14th day of October on 2021 on this Thursday at 11:11. And I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're a part of the journey that we're all on this path and contending with life in these days and all that it means. I want to share with you this morning this little passage from Galatians because I think it has so much power in it, and it is just this one line. But and we'll come back to it in a minute. But I want to start with it today. It is from Galatians 6:9, a fairly famous little chapter, little verse that says, "Let us not grow weary in doing good, for in due season we will reap if we do not give up." Let us not grow weary in doing good. So, we think we know what that means, but I want to kind of dig that a little deeper this morning because I think there's just so much that I keep seeing coming up around this. A friend of mine on Facebook, his name's Billy, and he's a decorated warrior. Has been multiple deployments, multiple working through all the things that means, and has had to do, as all returning warriors have to do in one way or another. They've kind of worked through the soul work of what their experience has meant to them. And so he wrote this and he posted it. So I'm going to share it here. He says he wrote this yesterday. He said, "After Afghanistan, I sought a counselor. Not really comfortable with probing questions. Eventually, we got to the heart of the motives. The words, 'I am busy,' surfaced. I found that 'I am busy' is a cheap substitute phrase for what was really going on back then, that I am avoiding. And so I write this to anyone out there using the phrase, 'I am busy.' Perhaps I am afraid to be honest and say, 'I am not making time for you,' or afraid to say, 'I don't like somebody,' or to pass time with filling other things." And he goes on, he's constantly wanting to feel something, but we don't stop because maybe we're afraid of what it is that we might feel. And so 'I am busy,' it becomes the decision. A decision means to cut away the choices, and 'I am busy' cuts away freedom to have joy. Oh, that's so good. 'I am busy' cuts away freedom to have joy. What Billy is contending with, and what he so beautifully has wrestled down, is what I think is really the sin of our age. Every age has its sin. Every age has a particular demon that likes to torture it. I think ours is what the old 7 deadly sins is sloth. But sloth, understand, is not what we used to think it was. It is what's called akadia, and I've talked about this before, but I want to talk about it some more today in a little different way maybe than you've experienced it. Akadia is, well, it's called sloth. It's not that you're not active or that you're just sitting in a lazy boy eating Cheetos, which it could be that. That's a real possibility. I like my Cheetos. But it often is more. It is really identified as spiritual sloth. It is this not and literally the word akadia, which is a Greek word, as you can probably guess, is it means this not caring. It means not caring. It means the inability to care or the unwillingness to care. And this, I think this is what plagues our world right now in so many different ways. I think it's when we find ourselves trapped on our phones and we're scrolling and 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 scrolling, and we're just we kind of end up in that place of looking for just one more endorphin hit before we put it down, when we're engaged in all the tasks of doing that are a part of our day, in this kind of automaton kind of way in which we go through the tasks of our day without really being present to any of them. How we fill our time, the way Billy talks about, with all of these maybe things of avoidance, whatever we're avoiding, but it's often something deep. I think we fail to appreciate how maybe difficult the last 18 months have been, how heartbreaking the last 18 months have been, and how heartbreaking they continue to be, how difficult things continue to be. Not just in terms of, your life might be great, your external circumstances might be awesome, that you might be killing it. That's not. I'm not talking about performance, and I'm not talking about your external reality about what's happening to you, but the inner reality of contending with the uncertainty of this age, the questions of this age, the losses of this time, and the continued losses. They continue to filter in the law, and even if it's just like a loss of confidence or a loss of that there's this grief that underpins this, and also some anxiety about, well, what happens next? We're all kind of waiting to see what happens next, aren't we? Because we sure as heck don't think it's over, whatever it is and whatever seems to be percolating. there seems to be continued percolation here, like the things, you can open any news browser and still see some, any number of madness things going on. What the sin that prevents us from engaging in that is akadia, is this ability to fill our time and our effort and our lives with the things that don't matter, so that we don't have to care. To fill ourselves with, it is often a restlessness more than it is a laziness. It is often a distractedness over a simple inability to engage. And so what the beauty, though, of this Galatians text is that I think it offers us part of the remedy here. Hear the words from Galatians 6 again. And let us not grow weary in doing good, for in due season we will reap, if we do not give up. Let us not grow weary in doing good. Sometimes, gang, it's really hard to stay authentic and engaged with the people in our life, with the tasks of our days. Some days it's really desiring and really right to just numb out, to just not deal with it, to just grow weary with doing that which we're really called to do, to show up to the people in our life, to stay engaged with the tasks of our life, to be a part of the world in which we're in. That's wearying. And the weariness, when we succumb to that weariness, it's not that we just fall over on the couch and binge watch Netflix shows, though we might do that. But sometimes that's just restorative. But often it is that we fill our days with the things that don't matter. We fill our times with the things that can be more busy work, that can be more stuff that's going on, so that we can still kind of search for some sort, kind of tune out the noise of our life. If the motor in the car is banging, we can just turn up the radio a little louder and rock out, and we don't have to necessarily contend with what's going on. Let us not grow weary in doing good. Is not about that we're working so hard and we just need to maybe not work so hard so we don't grow weary. It is to say that we're understanding that the doing of good in our world, like the real doing of good, the real being authentic with the people in our lives, the real staying engaged with the tasks of being in this world, of being incarnated, of engaging in the tasks of our days, versus the succumbing to the noise of the "I am busy" phrase that Billy so beautifully laid out. For in due season we will reap, if we do not give up. And this is my hope for you, and what Galatians is pointing to, is that there is a beauty and a reward in staying with the things that are hard. There's a beauty and a reward in our life for staying with the grief of the days, of staying with the uncertainty of our time, with staying with the hard things of our being. That one of the early spiritual fathers had a number of ways to fight akadia, of how do you fight the noonday demon. They're called the noonday demon because it seems to be the one that just stands there in the middle of the day and stares at you. It's not like other things that sneak up on you. It's like, nah, you can't care, and you can't make yourself care. So you can fill your days with all kinds of busyness, or you can fill your days with ways of avoiding the fact that. But the fact that you can't care is the fact that all the things that you care about, the things that would call you to do good, actually have some tinge of pain to them. And who of us wants to look at that? Who of us wants to contend with that? Of course we don't. One of the things that the early spiritual fathers said was the greatest thing that would help to cure acedia was tears. I mean, they were talking again. They're talking about this 2,000 years ago. And they're saying that you got to get real. Like you got to you have to engage this. Evagrius, who was one of the church fathers who wrote, I think this is from the 4th century, but he said it this way. He said, sadness is burdensome and acedia is irresistible. I love that. You know, the grief of our days, the sadness of our days, the uncertainty of our days, all the things that, and the accumulated griefs over the course of life, and the accumulated stuff that just doesn't work out, like just doesn't work out. All of that is burdensome. Like that's wearying to actually engage that. When Galatians says, "Do not grow weary in well-doing. Do not grow weary in doing good," saying, don't grow weary in carrying your sadness. Don't grow weary in being authentic with the life in which you've been given. And acedia is irresistible. It's irresistible. Like when it comes that like, oh, I can put this in my day timer and do that. I can watch a funny show. I can look at another TikTok video. I can do whatever I have to do. And I can contend with the things with some other shiny distraction, or fill my day timer and my calendar with stuff that may not really matter. Sadness is burdensome. Acedia is irresistible. But he writes this. He says, but tears shed before God are stronger than both. But tears shed before God are stronger than both. I know if you're a dude and listen to this, we're not necessarily the crying type. I get it, and neither am I. I don't necessarily enjoy wading into those spaces either. But the understanding that, there's stuff we might miss, or there's stuff that is truly hard. Well, my friend Billy talks about his return from Afghanistan and all of the separation that meant, and not just in bodily separation, but the separation of spirit, and the space between the experience of those whom he loves and doing his work and his life with, and the world, and where his heart and being was. That the tonic for that is the honest engagement with that grief, the honest engagement with that loss. And he says what? That a decision means to cut away the choices. I am busy cuts away freedom to have joy. Friends, your Father in heaven wants to give you all good gifts. The one who made you wants to bestow gloriousness upon you. The universe is conspiring for your happiness and joy. All of this is true. And yet, if we can fill our busy, we have cut away the opportunity to let that joy flow in. To let the freedom, the movement that needs to happen for the water to work for the water of grace to work its way through the aquifers of our soul. It is good, friends, that we can come and not grow weary in doing good, not be afraid of what it means to do good, even when it's hard, even when it calls us to a level of authenticity that makes us uncomfortable, even when it means contending with the hard things of the world, so that we do not go to sleep in them. There's other ways. So if you're really interested in this, I'll recommend you a book. It is called The Noonday Devil. Acedia and unnamed evil of our times. Was written by a Benedictine abbot. It's not that old. It only came out, I think, last year or a year before. And he's speaking. This abbot is speaking directly to this unnamed evil of our times, of acedia, of this notion of activity without meaning, of sadness without reconciliation, of loss without of restlessness without satisfaction. That this is, and if you're encountering this, and I truly believe these things are these little phones that we have are just are incredible implements of that noonday demon that allows us to engage in and get lost in our busy or in our spinning or in our turning without actually engaging the good of the world that might be hard to engage, that might call us to be weary. But the greatest of the answers to this for the early spiritual fathers, and I'll leave you with this. The greatest answer they had was perseverance and patience. That actually what the solution to the ill of this age, to the struggle of this time, was not to work harder, to work or to work more, or to get busy, or to make the great declaration, I am busy. It is to actually throttle back and to do with great intention the things that we do each day. To be attentive to the eating of our breakfast, to be attentive to the greeting of the person at the store, to be attentive to the driving to our next destination, to be attentive to the actions of our days, to kind of wake us out of our sleepiness. And it means we're going to get less done. Like, this is the thing. It is this patience and perseverance of throttling our lives back, and instead of giving way to the busy, to kind of block out the noise, to turn up the radio of the real things that are going on in the background of our lives, but to have patience and perseverance, to engage parts of our lives with intention, day in and day out. Now, we're going to screw that up, guaranteed, 100%. If you can make it through breakfast and pull that off, you're already a champion. Now, but the perseverance part is that we come back to it again. When we find ourselves scrolling, when we find ourselves lost when we find ourselves, saying, "Oh, I'm just so busy, I don't know if I can do that," or "I'm just so busy, I'm just so busy," and again, we are so busy because we can construct ourselves in such a way to avoid the things. And I say all that not to accuse you, but to let you know about my own self. This so resonates with what Billy wrote for me, because it is where I fall down again and again on my own spiritual path. It's filling up with all the things, but not always making sure that all the things are the important things. That if I'm growing weary, I'm growing weary in service to the good. And even then, to not let myself be lost in the hardness of the hardness of the days, or in the difficulty of the days, but to honestly meet them as best we can. Because if we do, the promise is that in due season we will reap if we don't give up. Friends, perseverance is the greatest. This perseverance and patience, I think, is the greatest thing. So if you hear yourself saying, "I am busy," think of my friend Billy. Think of me. Think of all of those who've gone, all the spiritual fathers 2,000 years that have gone on, that contended with this same demon and in this same way. And check yourself before you wreck yourself. I've checked myself many times, but I've never really wrecked. Never mind. I don't need to unpack that. That there are ways in which that we can engage this life, this time, this that this part of what it is to be alive in the last part of 2021, and what this season means with all that we've been through. There's a way to engage this that is not that actually deepens our spiritual walk, and it is not the great declaration of I am busy, but it is ensuring that we do good in our days, and in that good, not let it wear us out, but persevere with each other in our journey. All right, friends, that's my hope for you today. I hope you are good and well in this time. We have tomorrow our concert here with a great young organist, and so that will be happening at noon right here at 282 Rock Street. I hope you'll be a part of it. We'll be worshiping on Sunday at 10 a.m. We're beginning a new series coming into this time, so that'll be exciting. We have some movement of the church to actually respond to these days, and some stuff that we can do to harness the good. So that'll be good and true and exciting and wonderful. And then after that, we're actually going on our hay ride and corn maze in the afternoon. So, and you're all welcome to that. So we have a busy few days coming up here at First Congregational. I hope you'll choose to be a part of them, and I hope that you find peace and grace in your soul, that you do not grow weary in well-doing, but that in due season you reap, and you reap goodness, and that you don't give up. All right, friends, that's my hope for you and this day, and we'll see you next week with another 11:11. Peace and grace, friends.